I'm in a friend's garden here, and there are a lot of plants I can use for dyeing. So I'm allowed to pick a few things, and I will actually put them in a glass and set them in the sun on my terrace, because this week it's supposed to be 30 degrees Celsius every day and sunny, so it's the perfect week to do some experiments. First, we have this hibiscus bush here. It's not very lush this year. Usually that's like purple all the way. So I don't think I will pick the flowers off the bush, but I'm just taking the ones that are on the floor. This plant here, I don't know what it's called in English. In German it's called Schachtelhalm, but I take a few of those. I think they make a yellow or a bronze yellow orange even. And there is an apple tree that looks a little bit sad. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm gonna pick some leaves from around the apple tree, and that is supposed to dye yellow. I am also going to take a little bit of that rosemary because I think that can dye yellow greenish. So I'm going to take a little bit of that too. I actually planted this one a few years ago. Now it's that big. I scoured and mortared some silk and other fiber, wool and some corn, and I will add my garden treasures and other things I collected to dye with into my jars I found. I have 9 available jars and I just will fill them all and see what happens. To do sun dyeing, you have to mordant your fiber first and add the plant matter that you want to dye with the mordant bath into the jars and close it. It has to be airtight, and then set it to the sun. It doesn't have to be direct sunlight, but it should be UV light so the colors can develop and enter the fiber. Here are my 9 jars. Horsetail, rosemary, hibiscus flowers, apple tree leaves, tea. It has some berries and flowers in it. Leftover flowers from another tea. Just gonna put that in there too. White onion peel, red onion peel, lichen. And there are 1,800 different species of lichen in the mountains. I will do a dedicated lichen dyeing video, which is not going to be sun dyeing. Those two I separated from the other ones, and I think those are the only ones that I could see that they're completely different. So I will make 1 jar with this one and 1 jar with that one. And I don't have a lot of those, but maybe it will dye a little. Now let's add the fiber. So here I have my mortanted silk samples. I will put them on the bottom and the other fiber on top. I read that it is okay to do this with silk, which surprises me because I know silk shouldn't be in the sun, but maybe if it's in liquid it works. I have no idea. I just put a little bit of silk. It's mulberry silk. I just put a little bit of silk in each jar, and since this is an experiment, if it fails, I didn't lose that much. I have so much white mulberry silk from somebody that gave it to me, so it's okay to do an experiment with some of it. This is Whaledale sheep wool, and I just have a little bit of this, which I would have to card it with something else. I think less than 50 grams, about 25 grams or so. I just put a little bit in every jar. Then I have some nettle fiber sampler that I will use up for this dye experiment. And I have some corn fiber. which feels very weird. It's also from a sampler. And I'm just gonna add it to each jar. The reason I'm using gloves here, my dyeing gloves, is because all this fiber comes from a mordant bath and I kind of don't want to touch the alum. Now let's add the plants on top. I'm sure it will smell lovely by the time I take this out. Onion peels, you don't have to mordant actually, because onion peels is a mordant itself, but I already mordant it and I hope it won't matter that I already did. Here are the leaves. Initially, this is, I guess, the same like if you would do it over the stove. It just takes much longer. And since I can just fill it up, put it on the terrace and forget about it for a while, for me this is very easy. So I will try this. And if it turns out really great, I might do it with more precious fiber and more quantities. Now I'm just gonna fill those pots with the mordant bath. This mordant exists of 10% alum to the weight of fiber and 7% cream of tartar. And I'm not sure if I put the right amount for the amount of water. I added the mordant in, but I added just as much water so the fiber would be nicely covered. So I guess that's all right. So I read online that you can, or you should leave it for 3 months in the sun. For up to 1 year if you forget it. And honestly, I don't think, I was more planning on leaving it for 1 or 2 weeks, but I will read more about it and then decide later what I will do. It's a little difficult to pour that in directly from the bucket. So I'm spooning this little by little. This is it. Let's close those good jars and let them do their work over the next few weeks, I guess. Let's bring this to the terrace. They probably are really gonna stink. I don't look forward to opening them after all this time. Ugh. But I'm very curious how this works out. It's supposed to be sunny and hot all week, so this is a good first week for those jars. There is my beautiful mountain. I mean, there are a lot of beautiful mountains here. It's difficult to grow stuff up here. I really try every year. And I think I start to think maybe I should just not plant anything anymore and just let things grow that come on their own, because those are the ones that survive. It's not because I don't know how to take care of plants, it's just so harsh on this terrace. Either it's super hot or super cold or super rainy. For example, this flower here, it just came by itself. Or those white ones. Or that rose that just grew out of the ground, which I probably should take away because of the roof, but I feel kind of sorry for it because it's really just so tough. There's another rose that I could get out of the ground without breaking it, and I put it in a pot and she loves it. And those flowers just grow by itself. My lavender that I actually planted, I don't know if he's gonna make it. Even the ivy doesn't look happy. The bamboo is kind of doing it. Let's come back here in a week or 2 or 3 and see what happened. Those solar dyes have been up here for about 2 weeks. I think I caught the 2 nice weeks. Now it's getting cold and ugly again. Let's have a look. This is the tea. All the different teas I just threw in. This is one type of lichen which didn't really do anything, especially not on the corn. This is the wool, that's the silk. Might have gotten a little bit beige, the silk and the wool, but I wonder if I would have had to treat that lichen dye differently. This is the hibiscus. The silk turned pink, the wool didn't do much, and the corn didn't do much either. That's the other lichen. Here the wool definitely got very yellow. And the silk as well. And the corn stayed white. These are the apple leaves. The wool here has a really dark yellow. The silk has a vivid, brighter yellow. The corn got a little bit yellowish. White onion leaves. That's a nice orange. Silk turned nice orangey. The wool too. Can't see the corn right now, or maybe it just turned orange too. The red onion leaves. But it is interesting how the different fiber take the dye different. Horsetail. The corn didn't do much. The silk got like brownish yellow. And the wool turned like a sage green. And here is the rosemary. The silk turned yellow. The wool turned like a greenish. And the corn didn't do much. I realized I think the corn I should have mordant differently, not with alum. The cellulose fiber sometimes reacts better to another mordant. I have to experiment, so maybe it takes more color, or maybe corn just doesn't dye well. I don't know. It's the only white fiber I have right now around that's not wool or silk. Yeah, so let's take it downstairs and wash it. I really don't look forward to the smells of all this. Maybe it's not so bad. I think what I didn't tell you yet is that I also added a little bit of vinegar into those pots, because I think with a little bit of vinegar the color sticks better and also releases the pigments, at least of the lichen, better. By the way, this is wolf's lichen, the yellow one, and the white one, I don't know which one that is. I'm just gonna open jar by jar and wash the fiber, and at the end, when the fiber is dry, we see how it looks. Alrighty. This is the wolf lichen Letaria, it's called also. This one wouldn't have needed a mordant, I think. It's my wool sample. This is that mysterious bright mix, but you never know. Maybe if I would have put ammonia in it, it would have become blue or so. Lichen can also be treated with ammonia and then things turn purple. Smells like vinegar. It's pretty impressive for having been up there for a whole 2 weeks in the sun. I think the problem also is I was supposed to put cooking water into this for starting, and I didn't. I just put in cold water. So maybe with cooking water this would have been a little bit of a more intense outcome here. But the silk definitely took the hibiscus dye the best. I don't know if you can see it here, but in real life this is a really nice bright pink. I wash all samples with a wool silk wash, you know, to have the fiber clean. Now it starts to change color actually, the silk. And now also my phone rings. None of those colors that I washed so far actually bleeded out of any of their dye. The water is always super clear. I'm really surprised. I thought this would be terrible to open. It hasn't smelled that bad at all, and I'm very sensitive with smells. Apple leaves is nice. I mean, imagine that on the stovetop with boiling or simmering water. Might get even more intense. Beautiful color. Let's do the messy one, the tea. I might want to put that through a sifter. Smells like tea. Doesn't even smell like vinegar. Okay, and the color with the corn washes right out. Woo-hoo. All right, I'm gonna have all plant matter in that wool. That wasn't very smart. But the wool took some color. Check it out. The silk likes the tea. Look how pretty dark. That's incredible, the difference between the silk and the corn. Look at this. Ooh, that smells good. It actually smells like rosemary. Okay, I think I just didn't have enough rosemary, but maybe that's something I will do sometime on the stovetop with a lot of rosemary, because it smells so good. I'm really curious what's going to happen to this one, because I thought red onion is supposed to turn green. But maybe only if with a certain added thing, like a different mordant or something, or iron, or with iron I think it turns green, right? Well, I like that color. It's like a rust red. Maybe I should do that on the stovetop sometime. Cool. All right. Ha! You see? It's turning green. This one is turning green. Silk starts to change color too now that I dried it off a little with a paper towel. It's almost like it's oxidizing in the air. I also don't know why all the silk got so uneven. Maybe because the mordant didn't reach all the parts, or maybe the dye didn't reach all the parts. Well, yeah, obviously, but it's very uneven, which I don't mind. I mean, once it's carded with some other fiber and spun, this is gonna look nice. I like variation in color. Right now it doesn't look so nice, but spun up, this is gonna look lovely. That took a while to wash all the fiber from the different jars, but it wasn't bad. I was really worried it would stink. Nothing stank. It was totally fine. I guess it's really important you get jars that are airtight. Mine are completely airtight and there was not one stinky thing. I'm very happy. I think I might do it again. And obviously the onion peels didn't need mordant. They had mordant now, but it wasn't necessary. Probably it would have turned out also different without mordant, the color. I guess with plant dyes, it's just trial and error. Sometimes you get this, sometimes you get that, unless you're a total master in, yeah, whatever. Those are all the fibers I washed, and they will dry here till tomorrow, and then I will give you the beauty shot. The colors are very yellowish brownish, but I like that actually. I put always the silk on top, the wool on the left side, and the corn on the right side, and in the middle the nettle, if there is nettle in the mix. This is the unidentified bright lichen. Didn't really do much. It got a little darker than the white, as you can see with the corn, which in almost all the dyes didn't take any color, but I like a subtle beige. Then here is the mystery berry mix. I love how the silk turned out. Check it out. I think it probably won't be very color fast. It will probably fade into a gray after a while, but I don't mind that either. Here is the rosemary. It's a little yellow-ish, golden beige. Very nice. The white onion peel. Actually, this mix is the only one where the corn took some noticeable color. And I love that golden yellow. The wool is very easy with white onion peel. The nettle has a nice shine to it here. The horsetail. I thought it would get more green, but it didn't. Probably I would have to treat it differently, or it wasn't the right horsetail. But I like it nevertheless. Red onion peel. I think it's amazing how different every fiber got here. The nettle got a greenish, the wool very gold, dark yellow, the corn basically nothing, and the silk turned out a nice dark brown. The hibiscus flower. I should have probably used more of the flowers. I used more than the sample here, but I didn't have more, and it is, you can see it here. It looks kind of beige. It's a, in the real life, it's like a pinkish gray, and it won't last over time. And that's fine with me too, because once it's spun up, I don't mind if it changes color. Here is the wolf lichen. The wool took it very nicely, the silk less, and the corn stayed absolutely shiny bright, white. And the apple leaves. Check it out. Apple leaves really are nice. But I like the subtle variety of it all. But I think it's also very nice to know that corn doesn't dye very easily. So if you actually first card and blend fiber, then spin it up and then dye it, you know that if you put corn in there, there will be white streaks. And I think rose fiber behaves similarly actually. I think I will card up all those beautiful samples into a nice bat, either on the blending board or on the drum carder, but I haven't used my blending board yet on the channel, so maybe that's what I'm going to do with it, and spin it up and then see, depending on how the singles look, if I do a 2-ply or 3-ply, and then depending on how the wool looks, I don't know yet what I'm going to knit with it. And but I think I'll make it a video. Would be fun. So stick around to see that. Let me know if you like the colors. Let me know if you have some insight, what to do different, or some other ideas. Let me know about your sun dyeing experience. If you want to see another video of mine. Thank you for watching. And I see you soon.